Well, hello there. This is Bro Steph, Prophecy Insights. Today, just briefly, I want to talk about this concept when you feel small and you feel like your troubles are overwhelming you. What do you do? Well, the answer is to look up to God. See, the problem when we're feeling like that, it's a perspective issue. Our perspective is out of balance. Let me explain what I mean by that. When I'm feeling small and insignificant, and I'm feeling pressured by troubles and problems, chances are I'm focusing on the circumstance and on the issues that are upsetting me way too much. And I'm forgetting to look up and to focus on God. You know, Job, in Job 38, verses 22 through 24, emphasize the greatness of God and the smallness of Job. You know, God has this conversation in this chapter with Job. And what God was doing is helping Job to get his perspective right by showing Job how big and awesome God is. And trying to help Job to see that though he was suffering greatly, God is so much bigger than that suffering that Job could count on God, lean on the Lord, and not try to deal with it in his own power and his own strength. Let's read Job 38, verses 20 through 24. I wrote it down here, so I'd like to read it to you. Have you entered the treasury of snow? Or have you seen the treasury of hail, which I have reserved for the time of trouble, for the day of battle and war? By what way is light diffused, or the east wind scattered over the earth? Now, these are just two verses that I picked out of Job 38. I'd recommend you read the whole chapter. But it's interesting on a side note that the Lord brings up the issue of the treasury of snow. So God has a treasury and an allotment of snow that he has reserved for planet Earth. That's awesome when you think about that in of itself. And then we go down to hail. God's reserved hail, and we can read in the book of Revelation that the size of hail, if I remember correctly, it's like 100-pound hail boulders that falls on planet Earth. Well, God's reserved that hail in a treasury for the time of trouble. The time of trouble is the great tribulation, the time of the wrath of God. And so we see some prophecy indications in Job 38 as well. And then God talks about light, diffusing light, the science of light, and the science behind the wind, and knowing where the wind begins and where it ends. I mean, God started to paint this picture for Job that, you know, do you know these things, Job? And the answer, of course, we all know is no, Lord, I don't know where the wind starts and where it ends. I can't measure the treasury of hail that you've set aside for the time of trouble. I don't know any of these things. And then the most common sense reply to God after God paints this picture of how big he is. You can only say one thing: Lord, help me. Lord, help me to depend on you. And that's the whole point of Job. The lessons that Job went through in his suffering was to teach us that when times get tough, our perspective must change. Look up and look to God who's bigger than our troubles. We all have troubles. I have troubles I'm going through right now, some of which I can't even really talk about publicly, but I've got troubles. You have troubles. If you're a Christian in this world and you aren't experiencing trouble, then go to the Lord and check your relationship with him, because something's wrong. Because if you're walking with the Lord in a serious way, I can guarantee you that you're going to have trouble and that Satan's going to be nipping on your heel, giving you a hard time. And God uses those hard times to refine us and to build character. And, right now I'm going through a season of trouble. And it's been going on and on and on for a very long time. Now, some might say, like they said to Job, do you know the Lord? Do you have faith? Is your faith big enough stuff? Why hasn't God healed you or done this or that for you? Well, maybe the answer is real simple. God is dictating the course of my life. I don't dictate it. Circumstance doesn't even dictate it. God dictates it. These things that come into my life and your life, they wouldn't happen if God didn't allow them. And so it becomes our responsibility to go to the Lord and to say, Father, I don't understand what's going on. I don't like what's going on, but I need your help dealing with it. Help me to see how big you are and how small and insignificant my troubles really are in that context of your greatness. And let's face it, if God wanted you out of that trouble, all he would have to do is think the thought and your problem would be solved. Over and done with. Mine too. So I wanted to encourage us today. It's a perspective issue. Let's get our eyes and our minds focused and centered on Jesus Christ. Let's look up to him and then trust him to help us work out and work through these issues. Scripture teaches it's up to us, with the Lord's help, to work through our salvation on a day-by-day basis. See, salvation, we're being saved, Paul said, every day. Daily we're being saved. That's what salvation is all about. So let's trust in the Lord through his Spirit to help us work out our salvation on a daily, minute-by-minute, day-by-day basis. Look up, your redemption does draw near. And that's the encouraging word for today. I hope this has helped you in some small way. Remember to read Job chapter 38. It will bless your heart. God bless you. See you again on another Prophecy Insights with Bro Steph. Make it a great day, and God bless you and your loved ones. Bye for now.